Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, past, present and future of Juventus. This is what we'll speak about in today's video. I'm not sure if I will be able to edit the video, could be, but probably not because I have a huge big agenda and I will tell you in a second what we are speaking about. But anyway, the most important part is not the editing, but it's the content, it's what we are speaking about. Chico. A proposal from Juventus. Sancho, never been so close. A new name for the right wing, and pay attention to the really bad news. Something that could possibly be extremely bad. One of the worst things that Juventus could do, and we are speaking about Dusan Vlahovic. So if you're ready, please put a maximum of like. Continue to support the channel by subscribing if you didn't yet, and also interact. I really want to take the moment to say thank you. Thank you for all the support. So if you're ready, put yourself in that DeLorean, because we go back into the past. We don't go to 85. Well, actually, we go to 85 because this is actually the last time that we lift that trophy in the air. We are actually starting a collab, a beautiful one, that is remembering the last time that we won the trophy of Champions League. So pay attention for what could happen this year in terms of collab, in terms of post, in terms of merchandising. But we started kicking off today on the day of the birthday of Gianluca Vialli with a Vialli pack that you can already find online. Beautiful things like t-shirts, like hoodies, like training suit. Really beautiful one. That deep blue with the yellow lines that are actually replacing the stars. Really beautiful collection that you can find. And a beautiful thing, and this is something that I really want to underline, the part of the revenues will be also donated to charity, to the foundation Vialli, Gianluca and Massimo Mauro, that are actually fighting against SLA and cancer. So it's a really beautiful initiative. So you know that also not only you will have a fantastic beautiful item in your home, in your collection, especially if you are a correct collector, but also you will be able to support a bit, to help a bit the world. And we know it, that the world needs these kind of things. So beautiful, really beautiful. One of the things that is the most touching, of course, is the going back to the old logo, but also especially that signature of Gianluca Vialli. The 9th of July is an important day for Juventini, but also an important day for the Italian around the world, because in 2006, that's the day, exactly on this day, that we took another trophy in the air. It was the World Cup, because we won the World Cup. What a beautiful memory. One of the beautiful one. If you're able to see your country lifting it in the air, it's beautiful. So the 9th of July is always an important day. We have here Gianluca Vialli, always protecting the channel, always protecting the community, always protecting me and all the people that are involved. But then we have also here the World Cup won by Juve. Now we continue with the past and actually the present, can we say, because Giorgio Chiellini, icon of the club, yesterday made an announcement on Instagram in partnership with LAFC, Los Angeles. We know it since yesterday. He's also partially owner of the club where he played, where he ended his career. A lot of people were questioning themselves, what is happening with Giorgio Chiellini? Is he already leaving Juve, yes or no? No, yesterday he wrote it also in his Instagram. Obviously, I continue to take my role at Juventus really seriously. I continue to work for Juve, but that doesn't mean that I cannot be an owner of LAFC, where he was really well welcomed, and he had a really beautiful part of his life. So it doesn't change anything in the relation Juve, and it will absolutely not change anything. So on that one, we are reassured, because of course, when you hear a big news like that, it's a bit scary, can we say. We continue with the present, and the present that it's now, that it's today, because this evening I continue my partnership with DAZN, FIFA Club World Cup Telegram channel, because today we will go again with a watch along. Beautiful surprise, because today we show you the game, not like yesterday, but today we show you the game, entirety of the game, with Beppe in a small corner there on top of the right side of the screen. But we show you the game with a fantastic beautiful watch along, with shout outs, with discussion, with interaction. It's really beautiful. Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, we know it. We don't support neither Paris Saint-Germain, neither Real Madrid, but it's football, semi-final of the Club World Cup. So I can't wait to find you there. The link will be here in the video, but also on our Telegram group, so don't miss it, because I cannot wait to meet you and to speak about football together with you. Speaking about the future, Juventus, we can say that in the future, Osimhen will not be a Juve player. Corriere dello Sport is writing it. Il Galatasaray fa all in. Galatasaray is going all in for the Nigerian player. Yesterday, they were blocked stacking at 60 million euro. Today, they said, you know what, 75, this is what you want. De Laurentiis here, 75 million euro. We go for it because we know that they are actually running against time, because tomorrow the close of Osimhen will be over and then it will be tough to negotiate with De Laurentiis. So apparently 75 million euro for the close, 16 million euro net for the player in terms of salary, which means 32 gross. Why am I speaking about him if it's not a Juve player, or at least not a target of Juve anymore? It's just to tell you that 75 million euro plus 16 million euro net was absolutely out of proportion, something that Juventus couldn't go for. I never really believed in that going through. Of course, I want the player, but not at these conditions, because it was absolutely impossible to go for Victor Osimhen. On the other side, Juventus, they decided one thing, or at least they want to try one thing. It's confirming Chico and Kolo. Chico Conceição, Kolo Muani. Tudor, he wants to go for the one that he already know, the one that he already trained. Two players that in the beginning, if we go back to the beginning of the journey of Tudor at Juve as a coach, as a first team coach, well, he didn't count on them, because we remember that there were other players preferred, Nico Gonzalez instead of the Portuguese and Dusan Vlahovic instead of the French. These were the two starters from Tudor, and then slowly with the games, he started to discover them, to appreciate them. They started also to convince him that they were the starters of this Juve. They gained a starting spot in Juve, confirming them also in the Club World Cup. And Tudor said, if we can, I really want to keep these two players, because they are essential, because of what they give on the field, not only in terms of technique, in terms of skills, in terms of understanding already what I'm asking them to do, but also in terms of off the field. Two players that really wants to stay at Juve. So these are what we are doing. Of course, Paris Saint-Germain, they said, I don't care about all the beautiful story, Tudor, Juve, you want to go back and winning the Serie A. Show me the money. Show me the money, show me the money. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, this is probably Al-Khelaifi said, show me the money. Show me, if you want the Kolo Muani, show me the money. Anyway, stupid joke. Put it aside, but what are they asking? We want an obligation to buy. If you want a loan, go for an obligation to buy, because there are some teams that are on the French player, like Chelsea, that I was able to comment yesterday, even if yesterday Joao Pedro. On the other side, Nicolas Jackson was really a disaster yesterday, and probably they would love to replace Nicolas Jackson with Kolo Muani, so they know that they have some teams that are on the French player. So they are saying, show me the money. Show me the money if you want the player. What we want is 50 million euro. How you do it, it's not really our problem, but we want 50 million euro. Juve says, obligation is a bit a lot, because we don't have that much money. We are not Paris Saint-Germain, we are not Real Madrid in terms of finances at the moment. So can we find a new deal? The idea of Juve is to go with an option to buy. An option to buy, Paris Saint-Germain says no. What we are working on from a Juve side is actually trying another time to go with a loan for an entire year of Kolo Muani, paying 10 million euro with an option at 40 million euro. Paris Saint-Germain needs to think about it, so at least you go towards the 50 million plus what we already paid. Is it a lot for Kolo Muani? Yes, it's a lot of money for Kolo Muani, but of course they cannot go too low, Paris Saint-Germain. If you pay cash, maybe you can even negotiate at the 40 million euro, you pay cash and you make him permanent, but at the moment, this is the liquidity that Juventus do not have on the market, because we know it. The exit strategy, exit Mercato, will be huge with a lot of players. I'm not even sure if it's a good strategy to make it so public, because you know it, if you put players on the market that public, well, it's tough. Well, it's really tough, because the interested club, of course, they know that the players are on the market, that you are pressured because you want to sell them. So, of course, why should they actually give the money that you want? They will always try to negotiate towards the lower part. So, Kolo Muani, we already spoke about. Chico Conceição. Apparently, Juventus, reported by Nicolo Schira, they made an offer, 23 million euro for the player. This is not the close, but it's actually negotiating with Porto. With Porto said, guys, we set 30 for the close, not 22. So, no, we don't want to. But Juve now is trying with another formula, with another possibility. But also there, we need to go fast, because we are the 9th of July, and the close of Chico will expire on the 15th. Expire, not really, because you will still have a close, but it will go to 45 million euro, which would be a total disaster. So Juventus, they really want to go for Kolo Muani and Chico Conceição. Let me know if you are happy with the decision of Tudor, with Juventus that is trying to go for both players, because then we have another player, Sancho, Juve, ci siamo. Sancho, Juve, Here we go, can we say it? With the words of Fabrizio Romano, here we go. Yesterday, again, calls, fantastic, beautiful, positive, and all the papers, the journalists are reporting it. Alfredo Pedula, Mirko Di Natale, Romano, everyone is speaking about the fact that yesterday, again, there were positive talks between Juve and the Englishman, where he's even ready to, again, lower a bit the expectations. What are they playing with? Well, the bonuses, what we already said. Comoli says, look, we cannot give you easy bonuses to reach. If you want the bonus part, yeah, but then they need to be difficult because Juventus, they have one idea. Like Scannavino said, we want to compete again for the Scudetto. Top 4 is not something that we want to put as a huge big bonus. It can be a part of a bonus, a small bonus, but not the huge one. So, but apparently it looks like we are really going towards a positive side. Now we need to speak with Manchester United to really clear having the deal in mind, what we can spend or not. Who is actually having a rush on that decision? It's actually Jadon Sancho. It's not Juve. For Juve, they are not that much in a rush. Okay, they have the player nearly into their hand, like they are on Conceição, like they are on multiple players. They did the big work. Now they need to activate, push the button, but it's more the player that is in a rush. So let's see how fast it could be. I don't believe that today or tomorrow we will hear Sancho at Juve, but the contacts were extremely positive. So let's see, monitor. I think that for Sancho, we will need to go towards next week. A player that is really in the fast lane, and this one not in entry, but in exit, it is Timo Weah. Timo Weah. Not Timo and Weah. Timo Weah and l'Olympique de Marseille never been so close. It was actually the third choice from the French team because they wanted first to go to Dodo. Then there was another player. I don't really know the name, but these players were too expensive because they had in mind 15 million euro, which Juventus is requesting for the Frenchman. So for 50 million euro, yes, even if, and that's why I told you in the beginning, the problem is that Marseille, they know that we need to sell, so they try to have a small discount on the player. Will Juventus say yes or no? Let's see. But Timothy Weah to Marseille is that close. And Juventus, they have an idea. Speaking about that close, well, the name that Juventus is thinking about on the right side of the field is Jonathan Klose. No, it's not yet that close, but Jonathan Klose could be a target of Juve on the right side. Is he a player that I love? No, I don't love Jonathan Klose. It's not my preferred player. He's 32 years old. You know that I don't care about the age if they are strong. Can we say that Jonathan Klose is strong? Strange career for the Frenchman. 14 appearances with l'équipe de France. He's not a starter of l'équipe de Didier Deschamps. He's not an indiscus starter. Good player? Yeah, good player. Is it what we need? I'm not sure about that. The only thing that could go towards his favor is the fact that Igor Tudor coached him when they were both at Marseille. That can be a possibility for a good work from Tudor that said, why not? But honestly, I think that we have better players there, even if it's true that for 10, 12, 15 million euro is cheaper than a lot of players. So Jonathan Klose. And then we go towards two more news. The one of Chaka. Chaka that is tempted by Juve. And the discussion with Milan are over. Chaka that said, look, Xabi Alonso is gone. Boniface wants to leave. There are already some players like Wirtz that went to Liverpool. I don't know if I want to stay at Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not sure about that. So if we can go to another league, maybe to the beautiful country that is Italy, let's take into account Tudor wants personality, Tudor wants charisma, Tudor wants leadership in a team that is really lacking it, and he has been identified for 50 million like a real opportunity from Comoli. Comoli that is looking at opportunities, that is looking at players without injuries. If we are speaking about Chaka, the last injury he had was 4 years ago. Of course, we all remember the discussion we had about Douglas Luiz, and we know how it ended, but he actually is ticking all the boxes. Chaka, a midfielder for Juve, someone that can go with these key passes, something that we are really lacking in our midfield. Of course, it will depend on Douglas Luiz, will depend on Weston McKennie, who is going where and who is going when, especially because Chaka, these kind of players, they don't stay long on the market. Tudor will have 1 month. 1 month to actually prepare the Juve from the 24th of July, going back to La Continassa before going to Herzogenaurach, the headquarters of Adidas, having a friendly against Dortmund on the 10th of August, probably also that family game in the Allianz Stadium on the 13th of August before the big game against Parma in Serie A the 24th of August, one that could potentially not be there anymore is Dusan Vlahovic. Yesterday, Gianluca Di Marzio reported us what is a tragic news, the fact that they could possibly think about breaking the contract. That would be a disaster. What is actually the idea behind it? Means you let him go for free, so you're losing your entire profit. You can't even break even the books because you will lose something like 20 million, 22 million euro in terms of what is still there in depreciation in your book. But actually you don't pay his salary. That is actually 24 million euro. So actually you're saving on the salary. You don't give him, you let him go for free. That would be a total disaster. From what I heard, speaking with some people, they told me, look, this is really the latest solution that could possibly happen in the last week of August, in the last week of Mercato. But Juventus, they will try to do everything they can to not do that. They're even ready to sell him, even with a minus valenza, even partially paying the difference in terms of salary from what he could have possibly in his new team, but they don't want to go to breaking the contract now. Is it something that could happen? Then we need to go towards the last week of Calcio Mercato. But otherwise, no, that's not really in the intention of Juve. Would it be the worst deal of the latest year? Absolutely, yes. A player that you signed for 80 million euro, that is still young, 25 years old, still has a lot of potential, being loved so much by a lot of fans, that could be probably not only a bloodbath financially, but also a big dirty spot on the relation between Dusan Vlahovic and the fans. I'm not even speaking about Juve, the fans. So if you love the video, if you enjoyed it, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve.